Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor, and this is Cozy Corner. Make sure you follow, like, and subscribe for more content every week. So, today I just wanted to give a little update and also talk about what I'm starting to realize about marriage. So, as you all know, my husband's been passed for a little over a year now, and I had the opportunity to speak during our feast week. And in preparing for that presentation, I started to realize that marriage has a purpose. The Father has a purpose for everyone's marriage, if, of course, you are married to the right rib. So with my husband, I didn't realize that one of the reasons why he was brought into my life and we were brought into each other's lives was for me to save his soul, in a sense, bring him to the Father for his soul to be saved. And I'll never forget when we were dating. Actually, we were trying to get to know each other. We hadn't made it official yet at this point. And he was curious about the Bible. And I remember him opening the Bible, him telling me he opened the Bible and he didn't quite understand it and he closed it. And then that's when he reached out to me and we started talking and he started to get to know more about scripture because I was actively reading and praying and doing all these things. And he started to become more curious about what scripture was about. And he saw it through me, the way I walk, the way I talk, the way I carry myself. He started to wonder, what is it about what she believes in that is so great? And one of the things that he expressed to me when we were dating is one of the biggest regrets he had in life was he grew up without having a belief system at all. They didn't pray. He didn't know much about prayer. I taught him how to pray, and, trying to interpret scripture and see how it applies to your life. And then some of the people in the scripture, they were relatable to a lot of the things he was experiencing in life and things like that. And he had never read the Bible. And one of the things that he was very happy about was that if something would have happened to him, he wouldn't have perished for the lack of not knowing scripture at all. He said he used to see people in passing that were believers and he never understood it. He never thought to ask, but he was always curious. It wasn't until after my husband passed that I realized that one of the purposes that for me being in his life was for him to get to a point where he would get excited. It was so amazing to witness my husband grow and implementing what he read in scripture into his everyday life. The way he would talk to people changed, or how he handled situations changed. And he started to really allow the Father to dwell into his heart, into his spirit, and everything that he said and everything that he did was an example of the Father's love and his love for the Father as well. And no, I wasn't anticipating for the time to be short for our marriage, but now that I am at the point where I've allowed the Father to show me why I was in his life, and also he was in my life to help me grow in certain areas and to show me that despite my circumstances, despite the things that I had experienced in previous relationships with other guys, that there are men that there are good men. Not all men treat you the same. Not all men take advantage. Not all men devalue you as a woman, and that's the mindset that I had at that time before I met my husband because of the things that I had gone through. So my husband showed me a different light of that. And I thought about some of the people in scripture, you think about all of the women that you read, you never really see examples of the love part of marriage in scripture. It was mostly the issues that the women in scripture experienced was being barren and, losing husbands, losing children, things like that, and not being able to, have children, things like that. And it never dawned on me that the whole concept of love, what we see in society, is not the concept of love that the women had for their husbands in scripture. So it makes you wonder, where did it come from? Why do we have this idea that love is supposed to be this overwhelming emotion of affection and this thing where people have to constantly prove? I think that a lot of times we tend to miss the purpose for our marriages because we're so caught up in ourselves. We become selfish. And a lot of times we miss the fact that a lot of us are married to the wrong people because we have allowed our emotions and us being lonely and not waiting on the Most High and trusting that He will bring somebody in our lives. And we've allowed ourselves to fall victim to some of the enemy choices for who we should be with. And it causes years of pain and suffering. Your body becomes sick and you're wondering why you can't get any relief. It seems like you're struggling every way you turn. And that's something that I experienced before I met my husband. And then being with the right person opened my eyes to what the Most High relationship with me. Like when I was single, He took care of me. He made sure I didn't need anything. He showed a lot of love through a lot of my everyday struggles, patience. He gave me peace in times where I felt like I could not catch a break. And so when I allowed Him to come in, He also showed me, okay, when you are in a relationship, this is what you're supposed to expect. He gave me everything that I needed so I wouldn't feel I needed to settle for the bare minimum. And one of the things that I'm realizing is, even after my husband's passing and being a widow, some men will give you a false sense of love, and you will, if you're not careful, you'll fall into it. Men tend to, in some cases, manipulate the situation because they know you're vulnerable. And one of the things that I am grateful for is the fact that whenever a situation arises and I'm unsure, the first thing I want to do is go to the Father and ask. If something doesn't feel right, I'm going to leave the situation. Because in order for me to be the woman that He created me to be, I also have to be aware of the people, be aware of the situations that arise that try to throw me off my course and try to pull me further and further away from him, away from the purpose he has for my life, because it is so easy to get distracted and from things around you. And you have to be mindful that if your relationship with this particular person pulls you away from your relationship with the Father, it's not right. If you're in a relationship and you notice you're not praying as much, you're not reading your scripture, you're not spending time with the Father, it's not right. And it was not from him. So that is some of the things that I am realizing, that in this time, it is important that we are aware of the situations we put ourselves in, and to be more protecting of our spirit and who we allow around us in our lives to get access to certain parts of our lives. And if it was meant, and if it was from the Almighty, you will know. There won't be any strains. There won't be any issues as pertains to friction and chaos and all of these different things that come with the things the enemy like to create. And he'll trick your mind into thinking, oh, it's okay, keep on going. That's just how relationships are. No. If the Father doesn't want you to be down and feel less of yourself, then why would you think that he will send you someone that does that? If the Father loves you and he take care of you, why would you think he would send you someone that you have to take care of? Speaking to my ladies, if he gives you peace and he's comforting you in your time of need, why do you think he would bring someone in your life that causes chaos and someone that hurts you so badly that you're crying and you're sick? If he heals you, if he heals your broken heart, if he heals your body from elements of illnesses, what makes you think he wants you to have a man that stresses you out so bad that you have illness in your body and your heart broken? He would not want that for you. So that is something that in reading scripture and relating it a lot into my husband, I realized that he never intended for us to settle for the bare minimum, because he gives us everything. With him, we lack nothing. So why are you choosing to put yourself through that with people you were never meant to be with? Why are you letting the enemy come into your life and corrupt your life? So be aware of that, even with your friends. I'll never forget, my husband used to always say, and we used to talk to each other about this, we were more cautious about the company that we kept. Because if they wasn't an example of the love that we have for each other, we distance ourselves. If they was causing chaos and their lives were all in a disarray and they lived lives that wasn't in alignment with where we were going and the things that we wanted, we had to distance ourselves because we saw something different between us two. And in doing that, we had to realize everything around us had to be healthy. Not only that, but being able to practice healthy boundaries with the people around us. And keep a nice distance with people that you love and you care about, whether it's friends or family, but they just didn't fall into where we were in life. And you realize everything around you becomes peaceful when you don't allow certain situations to enter in. Your spirit is very sensitive to certain things. So you can't just allow any and everything into your life. Even with that, start praying about people. Pray about your marriage. Pray about your potential spouses. Pray about your who you're dating, in a dating phase. Pray about the guys that hop in your DMs. That's important too. Guys that say they're interested in you, pray about them. That's important. Pray about friends that surround you, people that want to be your friend. Pray about them. Are these people in alignment? Father, show me if these people are in alignment with my life. Because if they're not, you have to remove yourself. So those are some of the things to keep in mind. Protect your spirit, protect your mind and your body, because it is a temple, and you should have your guard up to the point where you don't allow just anything in. You test those things to see, are they in line with me? Or if they're above and exceeded over where you are, that's good. If you're going somewhere and you see somebody that's on another level, okay, maybe they're a good choice. They're a good choice. But if someone is bringing you down and weighing you down, and everything that they do is chaotic, and even when they call you, you're like, oh my goodness, here they go. Maybe it's time to create a healthy distance from those people. Not saying that they won't ever get their life together, because they may. But in this time, you have to protect yourself. And lean on the Most High to give you direction and instruction on what to do. Don't just jump into a situation. Wait for his answer. Because if you wait, he'll show you, oh, this person got some things they need to work on. They're not for you. And then this person is on an assignment to destroy you. It's time for you to leave this situation. Allow him to guide your life. And stop trying to jump into everything because it's so convenient. And because you're lonely. And you just want to have someone in your life. When the Most High is there the entire time, he's there. And also not to allow situations that happen to you affect your future. Just because you had bad relationships don't mean all your relationships are going to be bad. Because the Father has a way of healing you. You have to allow him to heal you. Heal those parts of you that are broken. Heal those parts of you that have been wounded by men or women or whoever the situation is. Because sometimes in doing that, we hinder what the purpose the Father has for our lives. Because we shut people off. We don't receive them, so we reject them. Not knowing that sometimes those people he's putting in your life is the person that's going to help you along your journey and fulfilling the purpose that he has for your life. But you're so caught up in what everybody else done to you. See, what happens is the enemy will trick you into thinking that because all these things happen to you, you're undeserving of good things. So you give up on the idea of everything. But that's not what the Most High intended our lives to be. You haven't allowed the Father to heal you. And so the enemy is using your circumstances and your situations to hold you hostage, and you don't even know it. So you have to allow yourself to heal. Go through the process of healing. And yes, it is painful. But in time, you will see why you had to. And that's why in this season, I am trusting that the Almighty is going to bring me through. And whatever he has for me, is going to be great. And the purpose that He has for my life, because I am taking the necessary steps to protect my spirit and guide my spirit, that He leads me where I need to be. Not where I want to be, where He wants me to be. And that's how we all should be every day.